We're going to do our closing showcase for a couple reasons, including unforeseen circumstances, a tie, and a flight. We're going to actually exclude that. So I'm going to, in that spot, I'll just congratulate the winners, which I'll do in a moment. We're going to begin with this panel, and then we're privileged to have Yuval Diskin here, who will provide us with closing remarks. We'll get through this a little bit shorter. We figure perhaps some of us are tired, and so we'll eliminate that closing showcase. We'll give both of our speakers an opportunity, and then we'll rejoin again out there for some networking. And so with that, Rob Wolcott, thank you so much again.
Thanks, Eve. So it's great to be back. Before we start the panel, I met some of you yesterday. I'm a professor at the Kellogg School of Management and Innovation Management and Strategy. Tend to work with larger companies. But I also wanted to mention again, it's my first time in Israel, and I was quite excited to come, and it's exceeded my expectations. The passion, the excitement, the focus, the commitment to creating new things, to building new businesses is really quite impressive and inspiring. So it's great to be here. With that, I'd like to introduce an esteemed panel of colleagues from large organizations. Peter Griffiths from Computer Associates. We'll hear from each of them in a moment. Yom-Tov Samia from IC Green Energy. And Thierry Zylberberg from Orange. I'd also note a three-continent panel, which is always a good thing. So the question that I've asked each of them to address to open the session is a little bit about your company and then your role within the company with respect to innovation. So why don't we start with Peter?
Thanks, Robert. Good afternoon. So yes, Peter Griffiths. I head up our Global Solutions and Technology Group at CA Technologies. We're a multi-billion-dollar software company really focused on enabling our partners and our customers to accelerate their innovation, what we call business innovation, through IT management, through the management of infrastructure, through the management of security, through the management of networking, through the management of applications, and really helping them accelerate into what is a hybrid cloud model for the next decade, from cloud-led solutions through enterprise solutions to even many mainframe solutions on the back end. So hybrid enablement of that cloud. And we invest around about $1 billion a year in research and development, both organic and acquired.
Great, Peter. I'd like to push forward with that notion of the cloud for a second. You're at a well-established company, been in the industry for a very long time. Cloud is a very new way of operating. It's a new way of thinking, managing, using, and leveraging data. What are some of the impacts that this will have on your company internally in terms of the ways you go to market, the ways that you price, the ways that you partner with customers, and that sort of thing?
Well, that's a big question. But fundamentally, the cloud really is representing a huge evolution in networking and security, is the way I think about it. And that enables us to deliver solutions through a service model. And when you look at a large company, let's take CA as an example. Many of the services can be accessed much more simply with a faster time to result when delivered through a cloud service model. But that's often an entry point for a much broader set of solution engagements where that cloud becomes the integration framework for a whole series of solutions that might be deep embedded security access management down at the kernel layer that can still link up to authentication at the cloud. So we think the reality of large-scale IT over the next 10 years is going to be a hybrid model with a lot of cloud-led solution entry points, enabling folk to drive broad solutions that will be both enterprise and cloud-hosted. And that's what we're working on at CA. We've been on that track, actually, and triggered that through a series of acquisition investments to bring that capability into the company and then to build around that and figure out how we leveraged it as we go forward.
Great. Thanks, Peter. Yom-Tov, you're a little bit about your company. We all know Israel Corp, of course, but this new business over the last 5 years, I believe you've been building from start, green energy.
Yeah. Personally, I'm about 40 years leading people throughout of any mission, any time, in any condition. 6 years ago, I met Idan Ofer just for a cigar and coffee, and we, after a few weeks, we established IC Green Energy on January 2007 after a full year of study. IC Green Energy deals with solar systems and biofuels. Up to date, we invest about $140 million direct to our companies in this portfolio. We are not a venture capital. That's very important to understand. If it was a venture capital, for sure I wasn't here. It's something that I'll be very polite, which I really don't like. We are very involved in our subsidiaries on the day-to-day life. It's one in the United States called Primus Green Energy, one in Germany, Petrotech, and two here in Israel deals with the solar. I see Israel Corporation, as you probably know, is the largest corporation in Israel, and it's very unique throughout your question, I understand, to establish something new in so large corporation, which immediately you think that if you are the little child of the family, you're going to be very spoiled and all this kind of stuff, but it's not in a business life. It's maybe in a family life. In a business life, you are under the magnified or under test from the very first day, mostly when you deal with new industry, green energy.
So we'll come back to that. I'd like to go deeper on this notion of being a corporate entrepreneur, which is certainly what you are, and in addition, of course, general to so many other points of service to your country. Thierry, you are also a corporate entrepreneur now at Orange. Give us an idea of what you're up to.
Yeah, I'm an executive vice president with France Télécom Orange. France Télécom Orange is a global telecommunication operator. We have a revenue of roughly 50 billion euros, and we employ roughly 170,000 people worldwide, so we're one of the leading telco. And I created 5 years ago, January 2007, a division dedicated to healthcare called Orange Healthcare. It's a division dedicated to creating and developing product and services for the global healthcare ecosystem. And the kind of things we do are using cloud computing to store and archive medical images, everything that we can do in the domain of telemedicine, e-health, MLs, for example, telecardiology, which we'll be deploying with a partner in Europe and US this year. And also drug counterfeit detection, which we are doing in Africa, in Kenya at the moment, with a partner also. And we also launched, with the government of Bhutan, which is a small republic in Asia, a health line for the citizen of Bhutan. So we cover basically all activities, all kind of product and services that the telecom world can bring to the healthcare ecosystem, both in terms of improving the efficiency of the healthcare ecosystem, but also improving the access to health of citizens of some countries.
Thierry, you said you have your company has a partnership with the government of Bhutan. Do you think you could arrange a free trip for me to Bhutan?
As you know...
Yeah, you could get me a one-way ticket, I'm sure.
Yeah. As you know, Bhutan is the only country in the world which has in its constitution the right to happiness for the citizen. So as part of this charter, they decided to create...
Actually, let me clarify that. We have the pursuit of happiness in ours. So, we don't have the right to it, but at least we can pursue it. Yeah.
Well, it seemed that the citizens of Bhutan have been able to reach it.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, at least they can telephone to it.
So I wanted to pose one question to each of the panelists, and you can use the context of your existing company or maybe past experience. Either one is fine. What is one significant challenge facing innovation and new business creation within established organizations, large established organizations? The reason I ask this is many people in the room are entrepreneurs, funding entrepreneurs, working at very small organizations, and your companies represent organizations that might invest, partner, acquire, work with become a customer for these groups. So it'd be good for them to have a context for that. So what is one significant challenge faced by innovators, corporate entrepreneurs within big established firms? And what's something that your organization has done to help make that better?
Do you want me to start?
Sure, Peter.
Very good. Well, I mean, it's certainly, you know, I think probably the biggest challenge when you look at a large corporation and innovation is around the one size does not fit all model. So it's getting the company to be able to work effectively with different sized organizations within it, and then figuring out how those organizations can leverage the global model. When a company like CA looks at acquisitions, we tend to think of them in three categories. We think of the sort of the tuck-ins, the technologies that will differentiate and add value to existing portfolios. We looked at them